Hello, my good friends. Mike Shreeve here, founder and head troublemaker of the No Pants Project. You're listening to episode 34 of the No Pants Show. Today we're going to be talking about what your clients really want to buy and why it's super important to understand exactly what it is that they are buying when they buy from you, so that you build a business that delivers what they want, if for no other reason than so you can avoid doing work you don't have to do. There's a lot of people when they very first start their business that do a lot of unnecessary work because they don't fully understand what it is that people are buying from them or why they're buying. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a potential client. Let's pretend that you need to hire someone. Let's pretend that you want to buy something from me. Are you giving me money just because you like me? Would you be willing to give me $25,000 just because you liked one of these podcasts? Would you be willing to give me $10,000 a month just so we can talk on the phone? Would you be willing to give me $100,000 a year in a single contract so that I can work really hard? I don't think so. I don't think any rational person would do that. Instead, I think you would give me that money if you knew you were going to get a result from it. I think you'd give me that money if you knew that you were going to see a return on that money. And I think if you lose sight of that, when building your business as a service provider, and you start accidentally making the mistake of assuming that clients will buy for reasons other than results, you end up making your life as a business owner very difficult, and your life as a service provider very difficult. Because when you forget about results and you start focusing on the 99 other things that can distract you, what happens is a couple of things. One, you yourself start to lose focus about what your business is even about. If you have gone on the journey, you could call it the process of building your business, and you feel like you've lost your way, quickly check in with yourself and ask yourself, what is the result that I promise? Or maybe you don't promise it, but what is the result that I deliver? If you can't say it in a sentence or two, if it isn't succinct, that's probably why you feel lost. It's probably why things are hard. Because when you don't know what the results are that you deliver to clients, you have to sell things that don't really exist. If you get on a phone call and you think somebody's buying because of your brand, the conversation you're going to have is a conversation about your brand. And do you know what doesn't actually exist? Your brand. Brand is just a perception. It's just an idea. It's not a tangible result. And so you'll be having a conversation with a client talking about who even knows what, and you're struggling with I just don't feel like the prospect, the person I'm talking to, is connecting with me. It feels like I'm spinning my wheels. It feels like I'm having to do mind gymnastics to sell my services. Or if you get a lot of people who say, that sounds really great. You sound like a really cool person. Everything sounds great. I just don't think that I can work with you. It's probably because you talked about things other than results. So the sales process becomes very difficult if you've lost sight of that as being the central component. of what it is that you are supposed to be doing right now. If you forgot that that's why clients actually buy stuff, now is a great opportunity. Now is the right time to sit down and explore what is the result that I provide. Now, does the result have to be a measurable financial ROI? No, it does not. What's the financial ROI of somebody getting six-pack abs? But six-pack abs is a tangible result. So when I first started in my freelancing career, I hadn't put two and two together. I came from a traditional job where if you don't read between the lines, it's easy in the traditional workforce to assume that you get paid for showing up and working hard, regardless of the results that you provide. It's easy to fall into that mentality. It is also easy for most people, regardless of age, regardless of generation, to have a sense of entitlement and to say, I should get paid because I'm working. Not necessarily because anything I'm doing is actually helping anyone, but I showed up, I'm working, therefore I should get paid. That you can survive in being employed with that mentality. And for some people, to be completely honest, that's probably the best path for them in life, right? Owning your own business isn't something that everyone should do. It's not right for everybody. Just like running a marathon isn't right for everybody. And not everybody should do it. Just because people can do it and just because it's pretty cool and lots of fun and etc. doesn't necessarily mean everybody should do it. So I started my freelancing business with that mindset of just, I've been working in kitchens for a long time. Figure you show up, put the long hours in, results that you want will happen because that's what happens in a restaurant. You just show up. Basically, if you're the hardest worker, you'll make your way up the food chain. Turns out that with that mentality, what I ended up doing was specifically looking for ways in my business to work harder rather than ways in my business to increase results. So for example, when I wanted to give myself a raise, instead of thinking, how can I get better at delivering results so that I can charge a higher price because I'm now delivering better results, what I did is I took a very common path and I said, well, gosh, if I'm making $50, let's say an email, say I'm writing an email for someone, why don't I just try to make, try to get 5 more clients? Let me get 5 more emails. Let me just increase my workload, increase my work hours, etc., rather than what the smarter thing would have been to do is, why don't I just one night a week listen to a podcast, listen to a video, buy a training program, consume information, spend time with a mentor, etc., etc. Why don't I just invest that 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day if I really wanted to go for it, just working on myself, up-leveling my skills. Why would I be up-leveling those skills? For the sole purpose of being better at delivering results for other people. Jim Rohn says, work harder on yourself than you do on your business. My interpretation of that, at least in part, is if you really want to succeed, be the person who is committed to constantly striving to deliver better results for the client or customer. It's not about what's a better sales script I can memorize. It's not about what's the next 57-step funnel that I can use in my business. It's how can I get better results? Let me just give you an example. I will help you to lose weight. I probably could do that. Even though I'm not necessarily healthy, even though, I don't have like a Greek bod or anything like that. My diet isn't the greatest. I could probably actually help you lose weight just for accountability, right? I'm not saying I'm like a fitness guru or I'm so smart I could figure it out, but just from the fact of having an accountability partner, you'd probably exercise and diet a little bit better than if you try to do it yourself. Okay, great. That's a result. It's a decent result. But listen to this. Now let's say I go to the library and I check out 25 different books, and they're all books on nutrition. And I sit down and I read and I take notes and I read and I take notes and I read and I take notes. I've now read 25 books on nutrition. Probably, to be honest, 5 times more than anyone else who isn't already, in the profession of nutrition and fitness and etc. So now I know a lot. Now I can change the results because I've increased my knowledge, I've increased my skills. Maybe I've started to try it on myself, and now maybe I tried it on a friend, they saw some results. Now, because of the increase in information, because I invested my time, now I can go to the market and say, I'll help you lose weight in the next 6 weeks, and you can still eat ice cream. Because after reading all these books and testing it out on my friend, I actually found a way that you can have an awesome diet, but you can still eat cookie dough ice cream. Now, what changed between those two offers? What changed is that I grew my knowledge base. I improved my skill. Now, let's say I go to some seminar somewhere, and there's a guy or gal or a couple guys, couple gals speaking on techniques that they're using to lose weight, get in shape, work with their clients, etc. I come back from that experience, try it on one of my clients, test it out on one of my friends, and now I can say, I'll help you lose weight in 6 weeks. Specifically, I'll help you lose 25 pounds in 6 weeks. And you can still eat ice cream, and the only exercise you have to do are short little sprints for about 15-20 minutes every single day. Or, whatever. I don't know enough about fitness to know if any of that's even real. But you can see that my results became enhanced the more I enhanced myself. I can help you lose weight all the way up to I can help you lose 25 pounds in 6 weeks while eating ice cream, and all you have to do is run sprints every day. The person who doesn't understand that results are what make a business in the service-based business, right? Like, obviously, what's the result of a donut? Well, there are very successful donut shops, so that doesn't make sense, right? But in the service-based business that you and I are in as freelancers and service providers, people pay us for results. And there's a big difference between lose weight and then lose weight in 6 weeks and the ice cream and the running. But what is dangerous is those individuals who don't realize it's about results, they stay stuck in the I help you to lose weight. And they spend all their time and energy on how can I better convince people to buy I can help you to lose weight. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can put a lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. I don't know why there's so many animal references for this idea, but essentially, it doesn't matter if you're the best marketer and salesperson in the world. Your clients aren't buying because of your marketing. They aren't buying because of your sales conversation. They are buying because of the results that you are willing and able to deliver them. Marketing and sales is just a way to communicate efficiently, succinctly, with clarity what it is that you deliver as a result. So if you're looking at your business right now and you're just like, oh my gosh, do I have to learn 90 more marketing methods? No. You may, though, need to learn 5, 10, 15, 20 more ways to deliver results. Now, some of you listening to this particular podcast will be listening to this long after the deadline has passed, but I'm recording this on April 4th of 2019. On April 7th of 2019, I'm closing one of my programs to the public. It's called the Expert Maker Program, so there's 3 more days to purchase it. If you'd like to get access to it, please reach out to us at help@thenopantsproject.com. In that program, all I do is teach you the same up-leveled skill set, results-driven skill that I perform for my clients. If you listen to the podcast episode a couple weeks ago, how I charge $12,500 a month, you'll notice that nowhere in that episode did I talk about marketing and sales. The entire episode was talking about how I deliver big results. That wasn't me bragging. That's the answer. That's the secret. The secret to being able to charge a lot of money is being able to help people. Now, some of you I know are going to listen to this and you're going to say, oh no, does that mean I need to wait 5 years before I can charge people? No. No. That is a completely false idea. That newbies can't also deliver big results. If you're new and you refuse to learn, then yes, that is true. You will not be able to charge higher prices until you're willing to learn. Or more importantly, the person who is new in business who thinks that it's only ethical if they reinvent the wheel, meaning they have to come up with everything themselves, then yes, that is somebody who's going to take a long time. What a lot of people don't realize is that in 2019, there is more opportunity to, within a few hour commitment, take a class online where someone is willing to, for a fee, teach you how to get results for people. Consider historically how people learned skills. Either you were rich enough to have your parents send you to a school, or you were an apprentice for a really long time where you essentially labored for very, very cheap or even free to pay back the person who transferred their skill to you. A skill in which you could, let's say you're apprenticing to become a blacksmith, could then deliver results to the local people to reshoe their horse, and etc. and etc. and etc. Build tools, fix things. We live in an incredible age right now where it is as simple as clicking a few buttons on the computer to gain access to skills that will help you to deliver incredible results to other humans, in which those humans will willingly pay you for the fact that you've invested the time to learn how to get them results. Now, there's a second element to this which is very important. Because one of the mistakes I made early on in my business, even when I realized, so at first I just didn't realize that results was the thing. Then I realized results was the thing. But the problem is I thought incorrectly that the results I delivered had to A, be all of the results. So every result a client could ever want, I had to deliver all of them. And so I became a generalist. And then the second one is I thought results had to be hard work. I still had this blue-collar workman mentality, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that at all. But I'm saying that mindset was preventing me from seeing what a real business is. A real business is simply a system of results delivery. Let me say that one more time. A business, at least a service-based business, is simply a system of results-based delivery. So, for example, if you help someone to get six-pack abs, there's two ways that you can make that happen. One is every time somebody mentions, I'd like to get six-pack abs, you go out and you, from scratch, create a brand new program, a brand new diet. You reinvent the wheel every single time you work with a new client. Now, I'm using the sort of health industry as an example because I think it's something that we can all relate to. But let me give you some creative examples. Let's say that someone comes to you and says, I need a website redesign. One way to do this is to, every single time somebody says that, you start the project completely from scratch. Now, that may not make that much sense, but let me give you the counter example. The second way to help someone get six-pack abs is to pull out, when somebody says, I'd like six-pack abs, pull out your sheet and ask them a few questions. Do you currently weigh this much? Is this your body type? Is this your diet? Is this your activity level? Is this your desired activity level? And here, what is some of your health conditions? Then you look at that sheet and you say, fantastic. You are someone that I've gotten results for before, so I know exactly what we need to do to get results again. Let's go back now to the web design. Web design person comes to us. We ask them a few questions. What kind of business are you? What's the goal of your website? What do you hope to achieve when this design is over? What pages do you need? Why do you need those pages? And you get a clear idea about what kind of person, what kind of project this is likely going to be. Then you say, oh, that's fantastic. You are exactly like a client I had in the past. I'm going to pull out the sheet of what we did to get that client results. And we're just going to go from the top of that sheet to the bottom. Check, 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 check. You need this page, it needs to look like this. You need this page, it needs to look like this. You need this page, it needs to look like this. Now, there's something important in this second way of working with clients that can't be ignored, and this is it. A freelancer or service provider who is building a system, meaning they're building a business which reliably and without much effort delivers results again and again, that kind of service-based business and that kind of freelancer only works with a very specific type of individual. Why? So they don't have to reinvent the wheel or worry about or stress about, can I get this person results? Your business shouldn't be a rediscovery process. You shouldn't be building and reinventing your business every single time you get a new client. Instead, the client should fit into a process you already have in place. For those of you who are going to be joining my Expert Maker program before the 7th of this month, and for those of you who are going to be purchasing that program and doing it for clients, what you will receive as part of that purchase is my list, checklist, and list of templates that I use when I work with my clients. In other words, when a client comes to me and they're paying me $12,000 a month, $16,000 a month, $18,000 a month, I protect myself and the client by only working with people that fit in my checklist and templates. Why? Because the checklists and templates were created based off of results I had gotten people in the past. So it's very important. Listen very, very carefully. You're not going to have templates and checklists the first day you start your business, but if you aren't creating them as you get results for clients, you are going to be stuck in this churn of having to reinvent the wheel every single time you work with somebody. More specifically, you're going to get yourself into a position where you're working with people who you may not be able to get results with because you don't have a checklist and template and an avatar and a perfect vision of who it is you can help because you won't have it recorded. That's building a system. When you build a system promising results, obviously, consult your lawyer about what results to promise. But having confidence in getting results for a certain individual becomes very easy. Because you know, oh, I know you because I've worked with people like you before. Here's the results we got. Here's how we got them. Here's the checklist I'm going to do and the template I'm going to use because that's what actually works. All right, let's go. The National Academy of Sciences did a study a while back about basically decision fatigue. And Dr. Dweck recently had something to say about that. Dr. Dweck's response to this study was, this is true if you believe that willpower fatigue exists. But she did, at the end of her study, say that there is no such thing as infinite willpower. So keep that in mind. But this is a study from National Academy of Sciences. They studied 1,112 parole judges, people who grant parole after somebody's served time in prison or jail. And they followed these basically 1,100 judges over 10 months. What they were watching was the judges' leniency, or how were these judges rating or making decisions? Who were they classifying as favorable, non-favorable? Who were they granting parole to, and who were they granting parole or not granting parole to? Here's what they found that's very, very interesting. If you had your hearing with the judge in the morning, you had a 65% chance of having a favorable ruling. The closer your appointment got to lunch, as the judge continues to make decisions, hearing after hearing, and starts to get hungry, blood sugar drops, etc., that goes from 65% favorable to nearly 0. In other words, if your hearing to determine whether you would be granted parole or not, if it was right before lunch, the block right before lunch, you had a nearly 0% chance of being granted parole. Look, you know I love y'all. But sometimes I think human beings give themselves way too much credit. If that doesn't frighten you, that people who've gone to school, who have devoted their lives to making decisions which affect the other people's lives, if there is that much of a disparity between 65% in the morning to almost 0 right before lunch, that should cause you to question your own decision-making process. How much you think you are even and fair and consistent and etc. and etc. That's a whole side conversation for another time. There's a second part to this study which I find equally interesting. After lunch, after the judge has rested, after the judge has got some food in their body, relaxed from the constant decision making, guess what happened? Shot back up to 65% favorable. Meaning if you had an appointment right after lunch, difference could be less than 2 hours. Appointment right after lunch, you now had a 65% chance of being granted parole. And what do you think happened the closer you got to the end of the day? Right back down to 0. Now, why am I telling you this? What does this have to do with freelancing? What does this have to do with getting results? you have to understand that you do this exact thing every single day and you don't even recognize it. If this pattern had been recognizable prior to the National Academy of Science, after they did prior to them doing their study and pointing this out, it could be argued that the disparity in a single day could be enough to disbar some of the judges. If your job is to make judgments and you have such a big disparity based off of the time of day and your blood sugar level, and your job is to make these decisions, seems like maybe you aren't the right person for the job. But the problem is that it wasn't just a judge. It was 1,112 different judges all showed the same general results. So you may not want to systemize your business and have checklists and have templates. Literally a couple of weeks ago, somebody in one of my programs got so angry and was trying to fight me for a refund because she was offended that I had templates in a writing program. This is the person who is keeping people in jail longer because she's hungry and is tired of making decisions. Like these are the things that you have to watch out for when you are building your business, because results matter. I understand you're a creative. I understand that you want to feel loose and free, and you don't want to be knuckled down to templates and checklists and, oh, that sounds so boring and I don't really want to do it. I'm telling you, if you want to stay in business, the checklist and the template will help you to avoid the negative effects of things like decision fatigue, so that you can consistently deliver results. One of the results of this National Academy of Sciences study was many areas, just depending on how you divide it up, many areas started implementing checklist-based tools to assist judges in making more consistently accurate decisions. There's a really good book by the author's name, who I can't remember. I can see the cover of the book. It's a red book with a big check mark on it. It's called the Checklist Manifesto. It was written by a doctor. Do you want to start talking about some scary stuff? It was written by a doctor who noticed this same pattern in surgery. That doctors were making massive mistakes because of things like decision fatigue. And a doctor gets paid for delivering pretty big results. So the key, it's a really good book, by the way. Totally read it. The Checklist Manifesto. I'm really apologize to the author. I cannot remember his name right now. He was a doctor. Amazing book. I think he's written some other books as well. I don't think I've read them yet, but I really, really want to. Very, very good book. Checklist Manifesto. Okay. So to sum up everything that we're talking about here, because we kind of went off onto this tangent of decision fatigue, templates and checklists aren't just convenient, they are the key to a good business. Why? Because clients want results. Our role as a business owner is to consistently develop, to consistently deliver, and to consistently make good on the promise of the results that our client is looking to achieve. Having to make things up from scratch every single time you have a new client project is going to exhaust you and frustrate the client. Because what will happen is you will be inconsistent in your delivery. Now, here's where you have to make some mindset shifts. Some of you are going to say, well, if I have a template and a checklist, why am I charging? How's that going to help me charge my clients? Doesn't that mean I work less? And shouldn't I only get paid for working more? That's the employee mindset. That's the mindset that I started out with, where I thought I only get paid for how much work and effort I put into things. You have to give that mindset up, because that mindset will prevent you from sticking to templates, sticking to checklists, sticking to systems. That mindset will make you think, oh, I got to work harder. I need to go off my plan. I need to try something new. I need to, and etc. And now you're back into inconsistently delivering results for clients. More importantly, what that mindset does is it makes your business about you instead of about the client. A business that is client-driven is driven to do what it takes to deliver results. Even if, and this is going to sound weird, but even if that means working less. Again, those of you who are going to be in my Expert Maker program, you're going to go through that checklist. The first time you go through that checklist and use the templates, it's not going to be easy because you're learning it. But the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and we start doing it for more and more clients. We had a student the other day share this in the Expert Maker group. She said something along the lines of, when she very first did the checklist, it took her almost 4 weeks to complete one of the things. Then she came back and did it again, and it took her 2 weeks. Then she came back and did it again, right? So she was making some changes in her own business. I can't remember if she was doing it for clients or different clients or what, but she came back again for the third time, and it took her a week, a couple of days. Sometimes, to deliver better results, our role as a business owner is to work less. That's how we deliver a better result. Now, let's break that down very, very quickly, because I don't want people thinking I'm talking about putting your sand in the toes and just, not doing any work and clicking buttons and push button money and all that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, to go from 4 weeks to 2 weeks to 1 week, if she keeps refining it, probably 2 or 3 days, she'll probably get it down to about 2 or 3 days, this specific element in the Expert Maker. To go from 4 to, and to be basically constantly having, right, 50% of 50% of 50% of the work effort that was happening before, what is required to make that happen, is to not jump to shiny object, but to stay in the system and refine the system. So that's why when I say one of the things you have to do is maybe do the hard thing, which is to work less, what I really am saying is the hard thing is working on your system and refining it until it's easy for you to do. Because when it's easy for you to do, it's easy to deliver results. When it's easy to deliver results, you can increase your fees because you're getting better at delivering results. You're getting more consistent at delivering results. You're getting clients' results. You can tell the stories of the clients to new clients. So, the big moral of today's longer episode, this is a longer episode than we had in some time, is that systemizing your business, checklists and templates will lead to better results. And at the end of the day, your client pays for results. Now, there's a whole other level to this, which we didn't talk about today. Once your business is a set of checklists and templates, you don't have to work in your business anymore. Those of you with aspirations of having a team doing all the hard manual work while you do the higher level thinking and dreaming and visioning and etc., you will not get there without a system of checklists and templates that will deliver repeatable results for the clients who hire you and your team. So that's just a little preview into the future. When you're very early on in your business as a freelancer and service provider, it's important to lay those foundations so that if you ever decide you want to go that way, maybe for health reasons, maybe all of a sudden you get real sick and you're like, oh, I need my business to keep going because I need the income, but I can't work in it the same that I used to. Guess who can make a much easier transition? The person who's got the checklists and the templates. So consider this, my dear friends, those of you who are thinking about the Expert Maker, consider whether or not it's worth the price of admission to just go ahead and use my checklists and templates. They've been proven for nearly a decade to consistently deliver results for people. If you don't want to do Expert Maker, still find somebody who's willing to sell you their checklists and templates. Learn from people who are willing to share their result-getting methods. It will be a significantly better investment than learning somebody's new 77-step text message, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, 90 whatever, blah, blah, blah marketing system. Increase your results, increase your fees, increase your happiness too. Just imagine how much less stress you'll experience if you know every time you take on a client, you're totally going to get them really, really good results. They're going to be very happy and they will A, keep hiring you, and B, tell their friends about you. All right, my dear friends, that is it from me. This has been episode, I believe, 34, What Your Clients Really Want to Buy. My name is Mike Shreeve. I am the founder and head troublemaker who causes quite a bit of trouble these days in the No Pants Project. I hope this has been enjoyable. For those of you who are thinking about the Expert Maker program, please reach out to us at help@thenopantsproject.com. We will get you set up with all the information that you need. Happy to share these templates and resources so that you can deliver results. That is what matters. All right, my friends, I'll see you tomorrow.